After playing this game for almost a week, I'm finally ready to start discussing NBA 2K14. Is it good? Is it the same as last year? Now, before I get into that, let me talk about my team. I haven't started a my team yet, and that's because I'm still waiting on 2K to confirm whether or not what we do in the current gen is going to transfer over into the next gen. They are the only company so far that has not come out and said that you can do that. Maybe that's just their marketing strategy. I don't know. I think it's a new move to not let us know what we can expect, because Call of Duty already came out and said if you start prestiging on the current gen, if you ever upgrade to the next gen and get this game, you're going to be able to continue whatever prestige you were on. FIFA did the same thing. FIFA said if you start a My Career or if you start an Ultimate Team, when you get the next gen version, your Ultimate Team is still going to be there. Your My Career, you can pick off where you left off. 2K has not come out and said that. So for my team, I'm waiting because I don't want to waste VC and I don't want to waste time. Because let's say I open up packs and I get Allen Iverson on the current gen, and then I find out next gen it doesn't carry over. So now I got to start all over again. I have to leave Allen Iverson. I was excited. I got Allen Iverson on current gen, but then next gen, he's not going to be there. So for my team, I'd rather not have to do that, not have to suffer that kind of disappointment. I just want to wait until they confirm it, or who knows, maybe my team won't be on next gen. They still didn't even confirm that yet. So I'm just waiting on info for that. So now let me just talk about the gameplay for current gen NBA 2K14. I've gotten so many questions. People are asking me, is it worth it to get current gen 2K14? How much different is it from 2K13? And I have to say that after playing for about a week, it's not that much different. There's a few tweaks here and there that are better, but a lot of the same issues that NBA 2K13 had, you have here in 2K14, and here's one of them. Your teammates are dumb. What was that? I just passed it to my wide open teammate off of a screen, and look what he does. He could have just shot that, right? But then he protects the ball. That allows time for the defense to get back into play, and then he does a fadeaway, and that's a travel. So this play is just all kinds of fail. Look at that. So if you're playing My Career and you're not a point guard, you're still gonna have all the frustrations of watching your teammates make dumb plays just like this. When you play as a point guard, there's not as many moments as this because you're gonna have the ball for most of the time. But if you're playing any other position, you're gonna witness your teammates making very silly plays on offense and on defense. Now I wanna talk about the controls. I think it was a bad idea to go to this new Pro Stick where you do dribble moves and you take jump shots on the same stick without a modifier like 2K13. I think that was a mistake because, number one, flashy passes, why should that get the modifier? How often are you going to do a flashy pass? Yeah, it's nice that you can do it that way, but shooting and dribbling is something you do on every possession. So the modifier should have been for shooting and dribbling. They could have made flashy passes. You could have just pressed the icon button and then used the right stick to pass, and that could have been the flashy pass. Now this possession is another example showing off the speed problem. Watch me run up the court with David Lee right there by me, and look at how he's keeping pace, and then see, he decides he doesn't want to defend me anymore, but he was able to keep pace with me on that fast break. So speed is still an issue, and even on this next play, after I get this steal and I'm running up the court, you're going to see that the center and David Lee, they're all going to catch up to me. And if you look on the left, you'll see that Klay Thompson was also sprinting up the court, and he was running the same speed as David Lee as well. So speed is yet again an issue. They still didn't fix it. And let me talk about the controls once again. You can switch them back to 2K13's version, but then you can't throw alley-oops and you can't do flashy passes. And I feel that with last year's right stick, with the dribble moves, you could link your moves better together. You could do a spin move and then cross it back over, step back. But if you try to do that now, you're just going to end up shooting the ball because you're going to hold it. You're going to be swirling the stick. It's just too, I think it was a mistake. And the reason I think it's a mistake is because next year, how much you want to bet that NBA 2K15, they change the controls again? I doubt that next year it's still going to be like this with the flashy passes on the modifier. They're going to change it back again. They're going to change it, and that shows that they don't know what they're doing with the controls. They had it right last year. It made sense for the modifier because all the dribble moves were on the right stick, so to shoot, it made sense. Now here's a play that's going to show that the speed and the spacing are still a problem because David Lee blocks a wide open three. And there was no hesitation from John Salmons. He shot that ball immediately, yet David Lee was able to get back into play in time to block the shot. And if you look at his feet, he actually skips a couple of steps in order to make that block possible. You see 1 step, 2 step, and then look at how far he goes on that 3rd step. He just moves both of his feet. It's like he cheats to get there and clear that space because see, the spacing in this game is still incorrect. They claim to, fix the spacing, but that's not true because the same problem in 2K13 is happening in 2K14. Wide open jump shots are getting blocked that should have no chance to get blocked. And as I turned the camera, I realized that David Lee didn't even block the shot because his hand was on the other side of where the ball was being released. Another problem with NBA 2K14 is the way that the defense is programmed. So now what they do on defense is they make all the players sag in the paint. So it makes you think that they improve defense in the paint, but really what they're doing is they're acting stupid. If you've seen my first few games, most of my assists are taking advantage of the CPU sagging too deeply into the paint. So that makes it easier to shoot threes, and I have to make a video specifically for that because there's a lot I need to explain, and also the way that your teammates are reacting. They're not moving into the open spots that they should be. Now here's another issue that still made it over into this game, and this is what they should have worked on. Instead of adding the flashy pass, they should have worked on this right here. I almost got a turnover. You see, I was trying to pass it to Thornton. I didn't use an icon pass, I just pointed at him, but then they make me throw it to Landry. So I'm lucky that was a kickball violation somehow, but you see, I'm passing it to the wrong person. So once again, we're forced to use the icon pass for almost every pass we make because you don't know where it's gonna go. In this video, I didn't get a chance to talk about the rebounding and some of the other issues. I have to do it in another video. But if you've been watching my gameplay so far, you've seen a lot of these things happening already.
Your performance tonight, clearly a coming out party. You've made it known now that you'll be around the NBA for a long time. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, it sounds about right if this was some made-for-TV movie or something. I mean, come on, real life don't work that way, man. There aren't moments as cut and dry as you'd like to believe. I don't just step out on the court one day and have a coming out party. It's a process, man, a long process. And tonight was a really nice step for me, but only a step. And there'll be plenty of more before all is said and done.